Before the video starts, I want to say, hey, I'm Zero. I play GPO now, because, I saw update 4 and I was like, hey, why the hell not? I got a lot of thoughts on it. I don't think that it's that consumer friendly. Yeah. Before you guys interpret that as me saying GPO sucks or something like that, no, I think it's a great game. In fact, I think it beats VTEX's, what was it, One Piece Golden Age? Yeah, that. And that should tell you how old I am, because I was like, what, 12 when that came out? Jesus H. If you remember that game, you're a real OG, though. Okay, so I guess first up we have the leveling, and boy is it hard. It is a doozy. It is a bandit beater. I hate bandit beaters. On God, I absolutely hate bandit beaters. They are just the most mindless piece of shit gameplay I've ever gone through. It sucks having to go from 0 to 425, just beating on mindless NPCs. And I hear that even before update 4, which is when I started playing, that the NPCs didn't block, but now they do block, so it just made my time like less enjoyable. It only actually got enjoyable after I'll tell you about how I got a Logia for my first fruit, which is something you guys probably don't even see for like years, apparently. Like how you guys describe it, it's like people spend months of their time playing and then they don't get one Logia, and I'm like, dang, I just started playing yesterday and this is it. I got ice, you know what I mean? Now getting a Logia at like level 60, I think, drastically improved the leveling process, as you can probably imagine a Logia would do, right? Like, I got ice, so I would just spam the ice stomps and then like hit them through walls and stuff like that, and I'd do that for at least like 4 hours or so, trying to like level up so I can get to the end game, the actual good part, which is something I will praise GPO for. It does have a great end game. I'll talk more about that later, but for now, the bandit beating, just really not something I love in a game. I think that to level up, especially in like Roblox games now, I think the story method is better, even though it's a bit more work than just placing a bunch of NPCs that you already have programmed AI for. You know, I get it, you know what I'm saying? I know how game development works. I know it's a long and tiring process, even for fucking Roblox. So, yeah. At least in my opinion, bandit beating is a really tired and shitty method that I really don't like to see in my games anymore, or the games I want to play. Yeah, that's about it for the bandit beating. Alright, so what I mean by heavy monetization is, like, goddamn, the game passes? Infinite Devil Fruit? Like, notifier? What, 7,000 Robux? 80 bucks? Huh? A private server? Even to reset your stats, which is something you need to do if you want to play PvP, like, somewhat respectably, because, you know, you need to reset your points to put in different stuff, so, like, you have swords and all that shit. You can have enough points in your devil fruit so you can use certain moves, all that good shit. You need to use Robux for. Why? Why? It's so heavily monetized. It's actually gross how much money, like, they try and squeeze out of you. Like, you buy a private server, like, say you want to cough up $80 for that stupid notifier. Go ahead, you know what I mean? I'm not knocking you for it, you know what I mean? That getting devil fruits is hard enough by playing the dungeon mode, which is absolutely, it's just, yeah, I don't like dungeon modes. Yeah, sorry for moaning in your ear, but I hope you thought it was kind of hot, because I sure did. But, nah, like, yeah, dungeon modes are kind of meh, alright? It's like the same waves over and over again. They do way too much damage, they're hard to solo. If you have a friend, they're actually quite okay. Like, they don't, maybe all my gripes are because I'm a solo player. But yeah, that's another one of my points, that the game isn't exactly friendly to solo players whatsoever. So yeah, a bit of a side tangent about the game not being so friendly to solo players. It really isn't. Solo players kind of just have to like fend for themselves most of the time. Like if you're a solo player and you don't have like the money to drop on like a devil fruit notifier and there's no codes out, you don't have a private server. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say private server, but yeah, you're not getting a fruit. I don't think so. Like either you get lucky and you can solo a dungeon with like what, no fruit. How do you do that? How do you even solo a dungeon with no fruit? I've never seen that happen. Are there YouTube videos for it? Send me some. Okay, I kind of lost focus. So look, my point is monetization is heavy in the game. Alright, you need to spend a lot of Robux to even have a chance at playing the game correctly. I mean, look at the fruit bag, right? Like you pay, what, 500 for a fruit bag just so you can store the fruits in your inventory? Like, what? It's hard enough to find them. Why do I have to pay to store them? You know what I mean? It's just gross stuff like that that really turns me off from like wanting to recommend the game to other people, because it's like it's like it's like, is for you EA? Is for you like an EA worker that just like fucking quit and then just started making Roblox games and said, you know what, let me just heavily monetize every single thing about it. It's kind of gross. You know what I mean? That's one of the points I do not like about this game. Ships, like the striker ships, like what, like 3,000 Robux? I don't know, 2,222 maybe. I don't know. I don't look at the striker game passes too often because I can't afford them, as I'm a very broke college student. Alright, so I kind of completely lost focus for this section, but I digress. Monetization is heavy. Don't make it so we have to spend 50 Robux on resetting our stat points. That just costs Pelly, because Pelly is kind of fucking useless. Please, for you. Please. Please, for you. Okay, so I had wrote down that I wanted to talk about how the game wasn't single-player friendly, and yeah, still kind of isn't, but I've kind of circumvented that problem. I got a friend to play with me, although it would take a lot of convincing because they don't even play Roblox in the first place. But yeah, not very single player friendly. If you're playing alone, you really have to rely on public servers to get you like good drops. And in the second sea, at least, there's a lot of people trying to farm Krakens in public servers because there's only one Rough Waters patch. So that's nice, I guess. I've taken advantage of that a couple times. But yeah, if you don't have friends, it's not exactly a nice time. I didn't really have a great time when I was leveling up because I didn't have anybody to help me out on certain things. I basically just followed Winter Clouds' leveling guide the entire time, and I was like, oh, okay, so when does the fun part start? Now that I hit like 325, I can just go and do stuff like, oh, I don't know, grind some bosses or whatever, but most of the bosses aren't even like doable on your own, which is weird. You know what I mean? Either you have to like cheese them or you die. Like, has anyone ever soloed the NL boss in like a legitimate way? Has anyone ever soloed any boss in this game in a legitimate way? I would love to know, please. Okay, so the fun part now. My personal experience. I was quite lucky. Really, really, really lucky. I started playing a couple, like 2 weekends after Update 4 came out, which I think was like September 24th or something like that. Yeah, whatever. I just know I played on a 2x Logia weekend. So yeah, you know, there was a code out for like a 4-hour Devil Fruit thing. I had a private server, and I used it. And well, I waited about 3.5 hours, and I got a Logia. It was ice, as you can probably tell from the fucking video. Yeah, it was really, really, really lucky. I couldn't fathom how that was my first fruit. Really, at first, it kind of like screwed with me. I was like, is God playing a trick on me? I found it really, really weird. I just thought that, hey, wow, didn't think that this would happen. I thought it was going to be something very common, but apparently not. I got really, really lucky. Yeah, I didn't get to screenshot it because unfortunately, well, very fortunately, I was pretty damn hype about it, so I just ate it right on the spot without thinking. But I do, however, have a screenshot of a Mera that I had gotten from dungeons that I gave to a friend so I could use his account to level up because he won't do it himself, like a bastard, like a leeching bastard. Yeah. So I'd say my experience since hinching, the fuck, hitting the end game was pretty damn good. Yeah, I got pretty lucky. I've only gotten about 2 fruits now because the only rare fruit I've ever gotten at this point is just Bari and Mero. Those are the only 2. I can't seem to get a Gomu or a Bomu whatsoever, and Bari just keeps popping up. I've only ever gotten 1 Mero. I've gotten like 4 Baris, dude. I swear to God, I'm gonna... Yep, it's just not a nice time. But when you do get something rare in this game, it does feel really earned. That's the trade-off, I think. I don't think that's a good thing because it's very Destiny-like with how, like, you could, if you guys ever played Destiny, you could like play it for like hours and hours and hours, and you could like have nothing to show for it. Like, you would try and get legendaries all the time, but nothing would happen. So yeah, I guess it's very like euphoric like that. You get a bunch of dopamine just from getting a legendary or a Logia or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that's something I guess I can praise the game for, although it's really not okay game design. But like, if you're that type of player, if you're that type of dedicated player, you're gonna love it, just like me. So yeah, in conclusion to this very scatterbrained, shitty video, I like GPO. You know, I think it's an okay game. I think there are a lot of problems. I think it's heavily monetized. I think it's not very welcoming to new players. But you know what? It's a good game. For all of its flaws, it's still a good game. I can see why it has 10k players consistently. Now 20k actually since update 4. But yeah, I have nothing and no one. Please somebody play with me. It would up my experience a lot better. Please, Winter Clouds, I know you're listening. Please, Winter Clouds, please, please be my friend. Please! Oh yeah, you probably want to see what I got from the end of this dungeon. It wasn't good. You probably know what it is from me saying that. You can take a wild guess. It's the correct one. It's not Kilo. It's not Spin. Because Spin is actually worth something. It's Suke. You know, Suke Simulator. Haha, haha.